going to start making some more book reviews. People seem to like the one on War and Peace, so I thought I'd spend my unsolicited free time doing this more often. So I'm going to start with Plato, The Last Days of Socrates. A brief intro to Socrates is it's hypothesized that Socrates didn't actually exist and he's just a figment of Plato's imagination. In a sense, he's a character that Plato uses in the form of dialogues to express his own philosophical thoughts and opinions. There is some evidence that Socrates existed through early writings and accounts from other ancient Greek philosophers. Additionally, Socrates never actually wrote anything down himself, which is kind of where the obscurity of all this comes from. But getting to the book, this book is comprised of 4 dialogues in 4 different areas. Now, I'm going to skip the first 3 and just go straight to the Phaedo, which is the most famous dialogue, and it's the dialogue Socrates has before he drinks a poison chalice. He's given the option of exile or death, and he chooses death to prove that the philosopher does not fear it. And this is kind of where the most interesting part of the book for me comes from. Socrates basically says that life consists of binaries. So to have hot, you must have cold. To walk, to run, you must walk. To live, you must have died, and vice versa. He calls this the law of opposites. And essentially, he's sort of arguing for the case that the soul is an eternal truth. It's something outside of the body. It's eternally true. It's in an immortal, invisible world. And the body, although corruptible, it's just a finite thing that the soul inhabits briefly. He kind of claims the evidence behind these eternal truths of the soul is like maths, which is something that exists outside of humans' social constructions, along with, say, like geometry or the perfect circle or something like that. This is where a lot of the more interesting conversations goes. He has some really great one-liners in this particular last part. It's also very nicely written, and it's quite understandable. A lot of philosophy is like really hard to understand unless you watch like a bunch of videos or you're taught in university about it or something. But this one's like something a lot of people could read with minimal Googling and minimal sort of like extracurricular help. Socrates himself is really, obviously, he's the most interesting philosopher there is in a lot of ways, very foundational. Fun fact, he actually he claimed to have a demon that spoke to him and advised him in life. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because there's a book I'm going to move on to next that has an interesting theory to why Socrates may have had a demon that advised him and spoke to him as sort of like a tulpa. But yeah, definitely intro to philosophy right here. Go for it.